Hi, good morning, folks. Very good morning. It is very early in the morning. One cup of coffee and I'm ready to go and make a video because I woke up this morning and the first thing when I wake up in the morning, like an inspiration shoots through my head. So I wrote it down. Didn't write it down, I typed it down. This is Kenneth Price. I have begun a ministry. The name of the ministry is Psychiatric Sobriety. I'm calling myself the Psychiatric Shaman. I was once polydrugged for 25 years on countless psych meds, benzodiazepines, psychotropics, drugs, alcohol addiction. And I got on my knees in my 40s and I said a very powerful prayer. Help. And the help began to arrive in the form of tools and resources that I was able to use to emerge myself from that parable. You know, folks, God helps those who help themselves. God did not heal me. God gave me the tools and the resources to heal myself. And that is the foundation of my entire ministry. I share with others the tools and the resources that I picked up when I said that earnest prayer and was willing to get to work. And voila, got a whole ministry. So there's my introductory spiel. What did I wake up with this morning? The inspiration that I want to share with others. The title is video, Fighting Mental Illness. I'm going to fight my mental illness. I'm going to... That's not a bad thing, folks. You've got to hear that first and foremost. Because when you approach it from that perspective, you are saying your first prayer. You're saying, there's got to be a better way. I'm reframing everything. Nothing is going wrong. That is your prayer right there. But we can't stay there. It's time for me to get to my pages of notes. I'm going to read to you what I wrote down. Fighting mental illness. Don't fight it. Turn it over. What you resist persists. The old model, we've got two models here, folks. We've got the model that made us sick, and we've got to develop the model that's going to get us well. The old model is resisting and fighting. It's a model that we use to paddle upstream, and we get exhausted. I got exhausted trying to fight the thoughts in my own head. They shouldn't be there. They're wrong. I've got to hide them. I've got to suppress them. If anybody knows what's really going on inside my head, they would lock me up and they would consider me an outcast. No wonder I went on all those pills. No wonder I went on into all those addictions. No wonder I gave myself a mental illness. That's the old model. Actually, in many cases, folks, it's a religious based model. That's sinful. Watch my other video that I posted last week called Fear Causes Mental Illness. But let's get back to the topic. I'll read to you more what I wrote down. The new model is to allow and to yield, but not to surrender. Okay, this is a very important point. People have probably been telling you to surrender. Now, I've got to reframe this because surrender is a very it can be a dangerous word. It can be a word that contains the connotation that surrender would be the opposite of victory. No. I had a member of the community take me aside a couple of weeks ago, and we had coffee together, and she introduced a word that was more helpful than surrender. She introduced the word yield, and I was able to hear it. Now, when I heard the word yield, I'm a visual thinker, by the way. When I heard the word yield, then suddenly I saw a road sign in my head that, yield, not stop, but yield. All of a sudden I began to get these visuals of freeway on ramps and off ramps. And that was when I got my next nugget. You see, this is how the Spirit gets through to us and answers our prayers. It begins to implant nuggets in our awareness. Doesn't give it the answers to us all at once. We have to assemble the nuggets that the Spirit plants in our brain, and we assemble a puzzle, which is the picture that we're looking for. See, that's why I don't give people answers. They don't have any. I give them nuggets and homework assignments. And I invite them to notice the picture of the puzzle that's assembling in front of them. So when I heard the word yield, I took note. For some reason, my intuitive sense said, you're supposed to remember this word. And then this morning, the next piece of the puzzle came in. I was listening to a video by my teacher, David Hoffmeister, and then he used the word merge. Yield is a road sign, and merge is a road sign. I finally got it. We don't fight the mental illness. I don't fight the mental illness. I don't fight the thoughts. I don't fight the fear. I don't fight it. I yield to them. But what's the next step? The next step was exactly what I shared to you. Then I merge. What do I merge with? That's why I have to call it a ministry, folks. Got to merge with God. Universe, spirit, higher power, angels, Ganesh, anything. I had a life coach. I'll say her name, Holly, if she watches this video. It must have been 12 years ago. I was in a suicidal place. You've heard my story. And she was an angel who came into my life and felt guided to begin working with me. And she was a very intuitive woman. And the first thing she said to me is, kiddo, we're not going to get anywhere until you get established with a higher power. That's the first and foremost is what we're going to do together. She said, you got to get a higher power. Merge with what? Merge with a higher power. Look at my website. I've got a whole section devoted to the 12 steps. I'm a 12-stepper from way back. What are the 12 steps? Look at my website. I can't. She can. I think I'll let her. The first 3 steps. Let me go on to what I continue to write down. All right. This is how it applies to mental illness. You know, if the old model is to fight it, folks, what we're going to be doing now is we're going to be yielding to the thought. The mental illness, by the way, it's not chemical. It's become chemical, but we're gonna meet the mental illness before the chemistry itself. This is where I got caught is I thought I believed the allopathic model of the chemical imbalance theory, and I tried to play with the chemicals in my head. Learn from my mistakes. It doesn't work, and getting off those pills, was a lot of work. So now that I'm off all those pills, we're not going to address the chemistry anymore. We're going to go below the thoughts and the beliefs that generated the chemistry itself. I'm not going to read what I wrote down. Let me share with you what I got from another mystic several years ago. Back in 2016, I drove to California to see Byron Katie. Does anybody know Byron Katie? I listened to all of her videos too. Here's how she puts it. All right. You've got thoughts and beliefs that are knocking on your front door. Hello, I'm fear. Hello, I'm lack. Hello, I'm scarcity. Hello, I'm shame. Hello, I'm guilt. Knock, 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 knock. We don't want that. So what do? We lock the door. We deadbolt the door. But here's what happens, folks. Those knocks get louder. And they don't just turn. They don't just stay as knocks. They turn into these, giant 4x4s, 6x6s that the police are going to use to hammer the door in. Byron Katie explained it to me. She said, don't padlock the door. She said, don't deadbolt the door. She said, open the door. She said, invite those thoughts in. And say, hi. It's nice to see you again. You remember that song by Simon and Garfunkel, Sound of Silence? Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again. Hello, thoughts, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again. This is the definition of yielding, folks. Yielding to the thoughts would be opening the door to the thoughts themselves and invite them in and say, hi. It's good to see you again. And let me let you on a secret. The thoughts hate it when you do that. If you're nice and kind and loving to those thoughts, they can't stand it. Ew, yuck. Um, this is counterintuitive, folks. The the whole time we've been trying to fight mental illness, and mental illness are thoughts of fear, scarcity, and lack. If you want to just get down to the basics, so invite them in. And I'm only going to invite you to notice what happens when you invite in the thoughts. They get so disgusted with you that they run out the back door. They become fluid. Thoughts in, thoughts out. They don't stick around. And if you invite them in for tea, they're going to say no. I'm not reinventing the wheel, folks. This is just mindfulness. This is just, tailor made to my ministry for people who, have chosen to exit psychiatry and made the courageous decision to come off their psych meds and benzodiazepines. Coming off the psych meds and benzodiazepines is 10%. This is what the other 90% looks like, So, where do I want to go with this? This is the practice. This is what it looks like. I've actually got a whole lot more written down. I wrote down 2 pages, but I think I'm just going to keep the video short and just stick with the topic, fighting mental illness. Listen, I got this inspiration because we had a Zoom call yesterday morning, and I remembered a tool that had been presented from Jeff Foster, who's a spiritual teacher. Years ago, he put it very clearly. I could hear it. You've got a bird on your shoulder, and he's saying you're stupid. You should have gotten a job. You should have a retirement account. You shouldn't have filed for bankruptcy. You shouldn't have taken all those pills. You shouldn't have said that to your parents. On and on and on and on and on. Shut up, shut up, shut up. It won't work. I tried. It's the violent approach, and I'm not saying shut up to that voice. I'm doing this to myself. But Jeff Foster made it very clear. He gave me an exercise that I want to share with everyone. He said, and he was a brilliant, brilliant man, and he said, I still have all those thoughts. Yeah. Oh my God, a spiritual teacher is still mentally ill. No. Byron Katie says the same thing. She says, I still have all those thoughts. Oh my God, Byron Katie, I thought you... No. Jeff Foster and Byron Katie explain the mechanics. I like the way Jeff Foster explained it. He said, there's a bird on his shoulder. Simply a bird. And every time it's saying, you made this mistake, this went wrong, you're not going to be forgiven for this, you're going to have to surmount this, you're going to have to bow and scrape for this sin. He just simply, gave it a very small torque. It's not a voice anymore. It's a bird. It's a bird sitting on his shoulder. It's going chirp, 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 chirp. Just music. That's all it is. It's not who you are, folks. And that's how I want to wrap up this video. When we believe we're this bird, we are believing our thoughts. We become mentally ill. I'm sorry. I've got a whole different definition of mental illness. People think mental illness is schizophrenia, bipolar, ADHD. No. Mental illness is when you're believing the bird. and people who have the bird say, you're wonderful, you're stupendous, you're magnificent, you're brilliant. Well, guess what? They're just as mentally ill. That's all mental illness. The way to recover from mental illness, folks, is not to fight it. Look at it as a bird. Just notice. It's going chirp, 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 chirp. Hello, Tweety, my old friend. Chirp, 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 chirp. You've come to chirp with me again. Chirp, 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 chirp. That's all it is. All right. It's going to be more than 15 minutes on a Monday morning. Listen. I started a ministry. The name of the ministry is psychiatricsobriety.com. Down there in the link. And like I said in my introduction, I call myself the psychiatric shaman. It's just a dream character. I don't have any credentials. I'm not going to be getting any credentials because this ministry is based on outreach. It's based on mutual support. And, it's coming from love. I have all the qualifications. I worked my ass off to recover from mental illness, and that's what I'm sharing with you. I'm not sharing with you that I have mental health and you have mental illness. No, I'm sharing with you the tools that I do every single day, and when I extend it to you, I solidify it in myself. Not so that you can recover from your mental illness and go back to the way things were, so that you can recover from your mental illness and you're going to do a pay it forward like I am. The sooner you surrender it all and say, I'm willing, the sooner we're all going to get out of Dodge. Now, how do I do this? I host, and right now, this is how I'm doing it. I'm hosting 2 Zoom calls per week. So, look down in the description line. We've got a Zoom call 9 a.m. Sunday morning Pacific time and a Zoom call at 5 p.m. Wednesday Pacific time. That, in addition to outreach, I take FaceTime calls. Look on my website down below, and it's got all the links. It's got everything written down that I have to offer. All right, so there's looks like about 16 minutes. One closing statement. Every single one of my videos. You've not been damaged, folks. Have you been damaged by a chirping bird? No. Now, are you going to brush that bird off your shoulder? No, you're not going to do that either, because it'll come right back. It's a pernicious bird. What we're going to do is we're going to realize that it is a bird. You haven't been damaged by a bird, and you're not going to fight that bird. You're going to make friends with that bird. You're going to learn to love that bird. And, when I say I'm reframing everything, we're just going to realize that it's a chirp, 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 chirp. I hope that was helpful. This is Kenneth Price, your psychiatric shaman. Check out all of my YouTube videos, and I love you all. Thanks. God bless. Bye.